Here we go. This is Mike from the Pompey Pod, and this is the third of our summer specials, Keep, Sell or Loan. So as the Portsmouth management team start to build a squad that can compete in the Championship, I look at some of the currently contracted players to discuss whether we should keep them, sell them, or send them out on loan. These are the 6 players that we will look at, starting with Tom Lowery. 26 years old, contracted for another season till 2025. It's been 2 years now since Lowery joined us from Crewe, and in that time he's played just 25 league games, 29 in all competitions. Apparently on £2,500 a week, approximately. Tom started really well at Pompey, and I think it was quite a pivotal moment when he got injured against Plymouth. Early last season, we were doing really well up until that point. He went off around about 75-ish minutes, and from then Pompey were 2-0 up at that stage and actually ended up drawing the game 2-2 and really didn't do well until Christmas, obviously resulting in Cowley being changed, being removed and replaced with John Massinho early in January. I think Tom started really, really well. He's not been the same since that injury. He's been blighted with injuries since then, and he really needs minutes. It will be a great signing for a solid League One side, and for that reason, I say we have to sell. Next up, Ben Stevenson, bought to the club a year ago from Forest Green Rovers. In that time, he's played just 4 times for Portsmouth over the last season. Apparently on £3,500 a week, which I think is a lot of money for a backup player, especially in League One. That's not going to be much for a backup player in League Two, but is he actually, in the Championship, is he actually going to get any minutes in the Championship? I really don't think he's going to at all. I think, again, he'll be a good signing for a League One side. And again, I think Ben Stevenson is going to be another player who will be leaving Pompey this summer. So I say sell. Third player up, Gavin Whyte, 28 years old, joined us from Cardiff last summer. Was somebody that a lot of people were getting really, really excited about. And I must admit, I was one of those people. He looked great coming in. He did play 29 games for us last season, but only started a quarter of those matches. He's on £4,200 per week, and there's 2 years left on his contract. He really didn't settle at Portsmouth. A lot of personal reasons apparently behind that, with his wife or girlfriend still being in Northern Ireland with a newborn baby. One of the factors being mooted as to why that was. But for whatever reason, his season really didn't live up to expectation. He had very few minutes, let alone games, in a Pompey shirt last year. So for me, I think pre-season is crucial for Whyte. I think if he has a poor pre-season, then I think he has to go out and get match time elsewhere to build his confidence. However, if he has a good pre-season, and I think he will, I think there's still much more to come from Gavin Whyte, as I've said all the way through last season. It never really materialised. But if he does have a good pre-season, I say Gavin Whyte should be one to stay. He's got Championship experience, so therefore I think we should be keeping him. Anthony Sculley, again, joined last season, another one who's had major injury problems. Only played 6 games for Portsmouth last season. He had big injury problems when he was at Wigan, joined with that injury doubt over his head, and it kind of stuck with him, unfortunately, for Sculley. Still only 25 years old, but is on £4,500 a week, which I think is a lot for a player who, again, possibly isn't going to play for us that much next season due to injury. Even when he was fit, it didn't really look like he was at the right sort of level for Portsmouth. As with most of these players, he's going to need game time. So I think realistically, he's not going to get a look in for us in the Championship next season. I don't think he's that right sort of level. So therefore, again, Anthony Sculley, for me, I think we're going to sell. Riley Towler started last season as first choice centre-back in that opening game against Bristol Rovers. Didn't play much since then because Connor Shaughnessy came in and absolutely was the signing of the season. Riley Towler is still only 22 years old. He's been with us now 2 seasons or 1.5 seasons since signing from Bristol. Young lad's earned £3.7 a week apparently. He's still got 2 years left on his contract. Did play a total of 6 games in total in the league last season. But when he did play, there was at times he looked very, very good. At times he looked quite naive. If you think particularly about the Oxford last-minute equaliser, really got turned far too easily for that goal. However, I do really like Riley, and I think he's only a young lad. He's got a lot of potential and could actually get to a very good standard in the future. We really don't want to have another Adam Webster on our hands where he leaves us for next to nothing and ends up being a £30 million player a couple of seasons later. So I personally think he's going to be off getting game time at a good level League One club. So if I was Portsmouth, I'll be sending this guy out on loan to get some experience. And last but not least, Jack Sparks, again, another young lad, 23 years old, played 38 times last season for Portsmouth, of which he started half of those, mainly when Connor Ogilvie was out injured, but I thought he did well. He's got a great left foot, whips in a lovely ball, a good crosser, really needs a lot of work defensively. He's very naive defensively, can be quite slow coming out, particularly when you think of the Leyton Orient game where we got absolutely stomped at home. I'd say Jack Sparks' defensive work was left a lot to be desired that day, but was also caught out on a number of occasions defensively. So really needs to work on that side of his game. But going forward, absolutely great. Ideally, I'd loan him out for next season and see how he develops. But he has only got 1 year left on his contract. I believe Portsmouth may have an option for a further year, but if he has only got the 1 year, I think that's going to be pivotal. So therefore, we can't really loan him out and then potentially he leaves for nothing at the end of next season. So I would actually get whatever small amount of cash we can get for Jack Sparks this summer, and therefore I would sell. So there you have it. That's our keep, sell, loan. We already know we had 10 players leave at the end of last season, 4 more left at the end of their loans to Portsmouth. So that's 14 players already down. From what I've just assessed there, I think there's going to be 5 more leaving that squad, with only Gavin Whyte potentially staying if he has a good pre-season. Just goes to show the size of the task that is on Richard Hughes, John Massinio and the recruitment team's hands this summer, because Pompey completely overhauling their squad for next season just to be competitive in the Championship. What's your thoughts? Should we be selling the players that I said we should? Should we be loaning out Riley Towler? Should we be keeping Gavin Whyte? Let me know in the comments. And as always, remember to like, share, subscribe, and hit that bell so you get notified every time a new video comes out. I'm Mike from the Pompey Pod. There'll be another one soon. Goodbye.